want to share with you top 10 reasons for pros and cons of moving to the Memphis, Tennessee area. First, let's talk about the pros. I started looking in all the states down south because I wanted to have a milder climate. That is probably one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to move south. I come up from north and we get some pretty harsh winters, and I decided I didn't want to be stuck inside all of the time for those winters anymore. I chose here because I still like the four seasons, of course. I do like all of them. I just don't want them to be as harsh, and so here that doesn't happen. I mean, I've visited here several times, and when it gets cold, they're still green, and I'm like, that's great. Another thing was scenery. Coming up from where I lived, I'll be honest, I came from Nebraska. Beautiful place to live. I lived there for 53 years. That's a long time to live in one spot. I was ready for a change, and Nebraska is beautiful, but it is very flat. I mean, in most cases, it's very flat. I wanted to see hills. I wanted to see trees. I wanted to see more water. In Nebraska, you pay extra to live on trees or water. It's just, whew. I didn't want to pay those costs up there for that either, so I chose to come to Tennessee. So I wanted to see trees and things, and so here when I got here, I couldn't believe it. The drives, I would say the drives anywhere you go are beautiful. There's something to see all of the time. If you follow me on TikTok or see any of those, you'll see some of the storms, some of the water, some of the views, and I'll just continue to add to that, of course. The next thing was the affordability of things. So I wanted that kind of a scenery on my lot and my house site so I could have all those items, but the other part of it is property taxes, and we're just so much lower here. The affordability of them is incredible. So for example, you bought a $300,000 house here, your taxes might be, I don't know, $1,400 for the year, depending on what county you're in, of course. I live in a very low property tax. So for example, for me, for what I bought, my taxes are only, when I bought it, were $1,450 a year. And that was incredible. It helped me afford the location that I wanted it to be. Not to mention the state has no state income tax, so I felt I was giving myself a raise as well on top of it. So I'm like, well, that's really, really great. For me also, it was kind of interesting because the food here is, when I visited the food here, it's weird. I shouldn't say that, but that's one of my favorite things is the food here is amazing. I have favorite places. I will review some of those in different videos, but when you come here, just message me. I will tell you some of the most darling Hallmark locations to eat, just hang out. They're amazing. Oh my gosh. And I thought we had great food in Nebraska, really, but wow, maybe I needed to look harder in Nebraska because here, well, food is right on. I also like the proximity to this location that Memphis is a top 50 city. So there's a lot of growth here, like growth everywhere. I didn't want to live in the city. Now, I'm going to say that's a con to living in the con is the crime and things in the city. Everyone told me, don't move there, there's crime. Well, what people don't know is Memphis is one little dot. But the Memphis area is considered a huge area, really. And so there's a lot of little towns just outside of it. And you never have to go into Memphis if you don't want to. It's beautiful, and I'll name some of them. Germantown, Collierville. Rossville is the cutest little town, and it's still close to everything, which is where I chose to live, is Rossville. Because I could drive 13 minutes to all these other places and be at the grocery store or fine dining, whatever I wanted, I was close to it. And yet I had everything I wanted on my home site. I had water, trees, the whole thing. I don't go to bars, but I would tell you it didn't even matter. I thought, I knew it was a thriving music community, but I didn't go into Memphis. I did visit Beale Street, but again, it's just a strip of bars, a bunch of music. I'm not that person. But what I did find is if you go to the outer towns in the cities, there's these town squares. I don't know what you imagine the South to be, but it was everything I imagined the South to be, with gazebos and beautiful flowers and trees and just a town square of everything you could walk to. It's just beautiful. But they have music there. It's like they have music events often. like every Friday and Saturday night. So when somebody live is playing, so it's just come visit. I've visited several squares. Also, I love the community feel of it. Like all my neighbors are so nice, taking me in, tell me places to go, give me a list of names, contractors, people that can help me. I don't even go to the major grocery stores. I go to these little grocery stores because they'll cut your meat, like your steaks, everything right in front of you, whatever you want, call ahead. And they're just so nice. They'll invite you to church. It's pretty cool, I will tell you. There are a lot of fun things to do for the family. Now, I mentioned the squares and things like that, right? But I don't know if you've ever been, and these are just small little things, but if you've ever been to the Bass Pro Shop here, it's this giant pyramid. You should check it out. And when you go in, it looks like you're in the swamp or something. And there's a restaurant on this elevator that goes all the way to the top. It's a destination all of its own. There are a lot of festivals. I haven't attended any of those yet. I have gone to the squares and seen live music and things like that, but not festivals yet. I'm about ready to take a drive over to the east side here in a couple weeks to take a look. So I'll put up some videos of that. And that's the other thing, the Pro is proximity, how close it is to, say, the mountains. Or if you drive 7 hours to the south, you can be in Destin, Florida. You can be on the beach. You can be in a lot of places. And yet where I live, it's an international airport. It'll take you all kinds of places, but it's only 40 minutes away. That's fabulous. And it's an easy drive. It's all interstate. And that airport is easy to navigate through. So I'm going to tell you that. Okay, so some people, for the cons, they say it's really hot here. I'm used to hot. I would say, I know that people may not know that it does get hot in Nebraska, but it really does. I will tell you the difference. Here, though, is in the morning it's beautiful, so it's 70, typically when you wake up, but it does get up to 92. Same in Omaha, it does say the same thing where I came from. But it is more humid here. I will tell you, it is more humid. It feels a little heavier when you're outside, but I don't know, you can just get used to it. I work outside far more here than I did back at home, and I'm blessed that I have a pool here and I have a lake out front for my house. Oh, sorry. But it's still hot. I still have to trim bushes. I still have to mow the yard, and we still manage to get it all done. So it's not so bad. I talked about the high crime. The crime is really, when you watch the news, they focus it very much. I'm not saying there's not crime everywhere in the world, but when you're outside of the city and you live in the suburbs of Memphis, I can't explain it. It's just a nice place to be. And I would tell you, it's hard to understand what all those places are because everyone only is familiar with the big cities. Like I hear Knoxville, I hear Chattanooga, I hear Memphis, I hear Nashville. Explore the outer places. Like there are really great places. Like there, I almost bought a house in Paris, Texas. I don't know if you've ever visited Kentucky Lake, but that's pretty amazing. I don't know how many people have heard of that. I thought that was really great. That was just down the way from the place I was looking at once. So Germantown, Collierville, I mentioned those earlier. Start looking at the little towns and doing research at the outside of Memphis if you're looking to down here. I know there's not tons and tons of information, so message me if there's an area you want me to visit for you. I'd be happy to do it because I like them all. I visit them all, so we'll do that. But another con, I know that I should pay more attention to it, but it's harder to, is that the sales tax is higher here. It's like 7.5 in Nebraska, but it's 10 here. Once a year, whatever they do have, no sales tax day for kids going back to school and things like that. That's pretty nice. Waterfalls, scenery, come visit. I'll continue to do what's great about living on the west side, east of Memphis and surrounding areas. So keep track, message me for whatever questions you might have or what it was like for me to relocate from there to Tennessee, and I'm happy to help.